Okay, this is part 3. And I'm telling you about when I was a child, when I almost got raped by my mom's 16-year-old boyfriend's 13-year-old brother and his friend. Okay, this is part 3, I believe. So I'm sitting literally in the fetal position in between the in between my mom's nightstand and her bed. I'm like this, scared. They proceed to come in, both of them, saying, "It's okay, we're not going to hurt you," with their pants down. And how do I put this so it's okay, so this video doesn't get taken down? With large erections. And for being their age, or I don't know if it was because I was just barely turned 7 or what, but they were well endowed. Like, well endowed. Like, they looked like they had maybe like 10 inches, and the width looked pretty big too. Like, pretty big. But it could have been because I was so young. I don't know. But all I know is I saw 2 well, actually, mainly just the fat one, but they both had their pants down with the erections, but mainly the fat one because he was in front. I guess he was going to be the first one to want to do it. And they're walking toward me slowly, and I just remember praying silently to myself. And I remember telling them, "Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me, no, don't hurt me." That's what I told them. And they said, "We're not going to hurt you." And they're walking toward me, and I hear the door open, and I think it's my mom. And they're like, I don't remember what they were doing. Like, they bundled up. I'm assuming these were zipping up their pants and trying to come together the story. I bolted out of there, past them, ran to the door, and who was it? It was Aaron. Airhead. It was Aaron. I wrapped my arms around his legs because I was 7, so obviously I was a little girl. He was tall, and that was as high as I went, was like to his waist. And I remember just wrapping my arms around him like this and just being so frightened. I couldn't even cry, I was so frightened. And he just held me for a second, and then they both came out of the room and looked at him, and I just remember him saying, "What did you guys do to her?" Yeah. And they said, they were laughing, and they said, nothing, haha." And he didn't ask me what happened, and I didn't tell him what happened. And I just remember him picking me up, like he would a child, and he had me on his hip for about a half hour maybe, and until my mom got home eventually later, and he didn't tell her anything. And I remember it was on my mind, and I couldn't get it off of my mind. Every night before I go to bed, I felt dirty. I felt like it was my fault or something. Like, I don't know. I just needed to talk about it. I needed someone to say it's okay. And I didn't have anybody for that. And I didn't have anybody that cared. And one night, I couldn't sleep because of it, as usual. But this night was bad, and I kept it was like a month later, and I was tossing and turning. It was like midnight already. And I'm 7 years old, mind you. And so I'm tossing and turning. And finally I get up. And I walked into my mom's room, and it was one night in which she happened to be by herself. And I knew it, and that's why I went to go talk to her. And she was in her bed, and I went into her room, and I said, "Mom." And she was just falling asleep or whatever, because, I guess she, parents stipulate, adults stipulate, whatever. It was only midnight. Anyways, she was awake, basically, like she was just falling asleep. And I was like, "Mom." And she was like, "What?" And like, she didn't even open her eyes or nothing. And I'm sitting there scared to death, shaking. And I'm wanting her to tell her. I'm wanting her to grab me and hug me and kiss me and tell me it's okay. I didn't get that. I said, but Mom. And she said, what do you want? I'm sleeping. And I said, so-and-so's brothers and his friend, when you left them here with me, they tried to rape me. And she said, this is what she said, her comeback to that was, to her own daughter, shut the fuck up, leave me alone, and go back to bed, go to sleep. Literally, that's a quote, that's what she said. And I did. So that's the end of the story. And you know, I know Marilyn talked in her career a lot about getting molested and whatnot, and it sucks, it really does. And you know, I know he touched me down there a little bit. He didn't put his fingers inside, but he did touch me down there. I believe he was trying to suck on my titties. I think he was. I can't remember. But who has titties at 7 years old anyway? At least just a nipple or whatever. But anyways, the point is, it was when we were in that room in the dark when he did it, you know. But it just all happened fast, and I was lucky that I didn't get penetrated at that time in my life. Yeah, and so that's one of the stories from my childhood. And that could answer quite a few questions of people, of maybe why you don't like me because of my views, you know, or whatever. That could answer your question of why I act and say or whatever, do what I do. That's just a piece of it. Okay, let's say my life is 1 billion pieces long. That was just 2 pieces. Okay, and we have, you know, so many billions more pieces to go. And I'm going to be writing a book soon. But first, I'm going to have to be recording everything. So I'm going to get myself one of those little handheld recorder things, you know, so you can talk into it. I don't even know if they make those anymore, do they? If you know, can you comment down below? Comment in the comment section right down there. It's right there. It says comments, and just click on it. Yeah. Comment on that right there. And tell me if they still make those little things where you can talk into, you know, it's like a voice recorder, and they had the little mini tapes. I don't know if they still make them. I can look it up on Google, but it's more fun to get a comment that says they do or don't. So anyways, yeah, that's my story, and thank you for watching. And I know the other video was super long, and this one, it seems to be super short, like it's going to be. I'm sorry, but that's the way the ball bounces. And that's what my grandma always used to say, my maternal grandma. When they adopted me, my maternal grandparents got me out of the foster care system when I was 13. So I'll tell you more stories. This was story time number 1, people, what you've been waiting for, my childhood. Because I remember I had commented on one of Marilyn Monroe's videos saying our childhoods were similar. And one of the guys had commented on my page or commented back and said, hey, I went to your page and you don't talk nothing about your childhood. So I thought that was a good idea. And not for views, because like I said before, I don't care about the views or the money or whatnot, but just for fun or hobby, get it off my chest. I don't know. I've talked to many psychiatrists. I've talked to counselors. I don't really like counselors because counselors really aren't shit unless they have a degree, you know, like a bachelor's degree. But most counselors don't. Most counselors just go to school for 8 months. It's a simple program, and boom, they say they're qualified to be a drug counselor or whatever. and or one of those free clinic counselors. That's not what I like. I don't talk to those people. I don't tell them very much. But like real psychiatrists I've talked to, I paid this one $600 for only $300 a visit. 2 different visits. I saw this guy. He gives me Seroquel, right? Seroquel, I don't know if you've ever heard of Seroquel. It's supposed to be like a antidepressant, anti-anxiety, all the bullshit the FDA throws at you. It sucks. I mean, it's fun, like, if you mix it with other drugs and are having fun, but I was on parole at the time. This was in 2015, and I could not partake in other drugs. Therefore, when I took the Seroquel, it just made me all droopy and drowsy, and then I would fall asleep, pass out, but then boom, I would wake back up like an hour later, which is a big problem I have all the time anyways. Like, I have problems going to sleep, but then when I finally do fall asleep, it's only for like a half hour or an hour or 2 hours, and I wake back up. But hopefully me and my new girlfriend can fix that. Alright, well, thank you for watching. This is Gypsy and my channel, Venus Moon. Thank you for watching Venus Moon's channel. Peace, love, and happiness.